Hello, everyone, and welcome to our coverage of episode 14 of the Legends of Chima. Chima Graw. I mean, fake Chi, real trouble. We'll get to the explanation of this later. But for now, as always, the links in the description are for the episode, one preferred, one backup. So check it out there. I'm Messina.
I'm LJ.
I'm Kahi.
I'm Alina.
And man, this episode was interesting to me.
It was another stupid filler that wouldn't.
I disagree.
Would it?
It was filler, it was not stupid. This was well handled, in my opinion.
If it was well handled, they would have taken the chi when they had the chance.
Well, we'll get to that. Here's the premise, okay? So, Crueler, you know, she's always mind controlling Krager, and I gotta get this out of the way first. My second favorite thing with this episode, after 14 episodes of this, we finally have an explanation for what the mind control plant is. It is something called a persuader plant, and it's a raven tool that they used to use to
I
manipulate
love that.
fires and buy whatever they want.
I'm like, the Ravens would totally use that. If they use mind control, they would use it to scam people out of money. I would totally use it for that.
And my twin agrees with me. It is a stupid name.
Okay. Excellent. Well, still, it is a very stupid name, however, at least there's finally a bit of an explanation behind it. So Crueler can't use that anymore, so she wants more of it. So she goes to the Ravens, learns this info, and they put her in touch with a new character who is apparently a big feature in the game, according to what people are saying. Regal the Raven. He's an alchemist, and he's cooking up stuff, and she wants mind control potions or whatnot, but she gets something better. Chi. This guy is making chi in his factory. So, basically, the setup for the episode was that basically the wolves have gotten so powerful, the lions are having to, like, escort people around to protect them, and they kind of suck at it, to be honest.
I don't even get it either. I mean,
You don't
if they
get it.
want, why don't they just stop transporting the chi for a few months, wait for the werewolf supply to run out, and then start shipping it around?
The werewolves.
The werewolves. Okay. Well, see, I thought of this before, but here's what I've gathered. The lions are the stupidest creatures around. They are.
They are.
They just want to ship stuff out because supposedly that's what they're supposed to do. They don't bother messing out with the system. The wolves, I was rooting for the wolves the entire time. The stupid frick bears at the beginning of the episode, they deserve to have their chi robbed.
They did.
Alina, though, here's the thing, okay? There's two facets to this. One being, okay, you gotta keep in mind, if the chi is not in balance, basically everyone's gonna die. The apocalypse is gonna happen. Armageddon will destroy. You know, it's gonna happen, and Chima will be destroyed. Okay, so that's one fact of the
Really?
to transport this. Yes, and two, apparently this is like a drug. So this is like saying, say you basically run an island full of like drug addicts, and
Well, the
if
lions
you
are
don't-
like the drug cartel, but
They are.
unlike drug cartels, they're actually pretty bad at shipping and
Yes.
getting the goods to the people.
Yes. So say your entire,
And they aren't even making any
entire
money
island
off of
has
it.
to go without their drugs for a few months. Everyone's either gonna go insane, or there's gonna be like mass murder in the streets. So
I love
it's
how
like-
like they have. It's not just now. They're not even hiding that it's a drug.
they're not
They
even.
literally have a verb for it. They're like, well, I plugged some in this morning. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So
You might as well say I shot up some chi this morning. You know, get me from there. Like,
Yeah.
come on, you can't. And then he's like, well, now we have this chi isn't for you kids. Okay.
those are
I
the.
guess you're getting legitimate chi.
So basically,
Marichima.
Krager, who is now freed from the influence, decides the influence of the plant. That is the drug.
He's true.
He decides
He's
to
above
do
the
a good
influence.
deed for the residents of Chima. and he basically throws a Mardi Gras parade across the entire land.
Which is like the funniest thing
It is my favorite sequence in
I've
the
seen.
entire series.
And like they do such a great cut to it, and it's kind of and like the music is just phenomenal, and they just switch to it, and like he's kind of
Craigers
dancing.
dancing around, and
Yeah.
and each
Oh man,
tribe has
it
unique
was it
characteristics.
was
Like
hilarious.
the bears are like tapping their feet to the music in their sleep, and like one of them, they all chi up, and then the beavers, the chi crashes into their home, and they're like,
Yeah.
fix it, fix it, fix it, and then the rhinos all plug it, and they just go insane. And then this whole
That
sequence
is.
happens, and then basically they get to the ravens, and the ravens are smart. They don't go crazy, and they realize this is counterfeit. They know all about the side effects of this. Basically turns everyone into birds, or well, correction, makes them think they're birds. And they find out that
Yeah.
this is because this character, Regal, he is actually half raven, half eagle, and he can't fly, I guess. And he was depressed about this because he wanted to fly, and he basically went insane and decided, if I'm gonna make everyone else like me, and I'm gonna turn everyone into birds so they can be my slaves.
I'm just. I'm just gonna say it right now. They got it all wrong for how a baby from two different species looks. All wrong.
Elena, Chima is different from our world. Okay?
I
Yeah.
don't care. They should at least look into this stuff a
Elena,
little bit
No, I know.
better.
I
you,
no,
you didn't you didn't watch
I
the episodes
disagree
where
with
they
this. I
blatantly
disagree with this.
disregarded physics. Why do you disagree with this?
They did what's the reason I disagree with this is that it the kind of combination they're wanting to do makes sense in this world because it's what people want to see. Nobody wants to see a genetically correct eagle crow combination. They want to see someone who's half eagle and half crow. These are kids you're talking about, and it's not just something that like, oh, you need to have genetic. No, kids aren't interested in genetics. They want to see like if Lal and Ares get married, they want to see a kid that's like a lion and has wings. Forgo how genetically correct that is. That's what they want to see, and like in their minds that makes sense, and that like that makes sense within the realm of the story. So I think that it's a good thing. They don't need to be physics is something that you should be try to do a bit more on because it looks really unrealistic. When it comes to having a kid show about animals and like having one animal that's half one animal, half another, it works. I'm gonna defend that.
He
Lena?
he
He
is
wasn't a proper mutant anyways.
I'm amazed, Elena. You made Kahi defend Chima.
congratulations.
I defend good
I,
story.
I still prefer the
Decisions.
I still prefer the one-eyed nose kitten news article I saw when I was in the 5th grade.
Chiba.
Yes.
What? What?
What?
Okay.
We'll get into this
Anyhow.
afterwards.
All right.
Yeah.
So basically, this dude is a more hardcore antagonist than anyone else in the entire series thus far, even though he's a bit of a clown and he gets taken out fairly easily. He basically wants to make everyone's his bird slaves, um, by like
That works
poisoning
out.
them, and it does not. I guess the goal is achieved, except you can't control them, so it kind of blew up in his face.
What? I don't. Why makes fake chi that you can't even use to control people? I mean, you can commit genocide, but
Genocide.
Genocide.
Elena.
To be fair, genotype is a very commonly used biology term, so genocide is a logical fall after.
Elena, for
It's
future
like
reference. Most
but
people.
it is genocide.
Yeah, most people
genocide.
say. Yeah, genocide. Like genes.
Genocide is. I would argue that genocide is a valid pronunciation.
Okay, why are we talking
Anyhow.
about this? Chima.
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
Chima.
Kai is
Now,
finally arguing for me.
today. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. For the rest
I
of
know,
the
right? Only
episode,
you win, Mark.
for the rest of the episode, this is what happens. Bunch of montages. Krager tries to reverse stuff, and eventually, the wolves fall prey to this fake chi, and there's another case of like, okay, trickery and logic and, you know, non-violence saves the day. There was no fight in this episode because, yeah,
The wolves turned into birds.
I do notice all the well. This is the dichotomy you have with Chima. A lot of the good episodes involve big set pieces, you know, nice combat and interesting dynamics like that. And then there's some of the episodes where it's like a kid's show, where the villain gets
It
defeated
is a
because they're
kid's show.
stupid. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. There's episodes where it's more prevalent than
Adult.
others, and then there's ones where there's actual conflict and whatnot. However, then you get into that thing is, can you make an episode good simply by having a fight scene, which I do not agree with. But no, that's a bigger issue for another day with the whole genre itself. That's not what we're talking about. Basically, the wolves are stupid, but the lions are equally stupid, and the
And
episode ends.
somehow Laval gets a brain cell and tricks the wolves into taking the fake chi.
But not
I
enough
forgot
brain
about that.
cells to take advantage of them and get the chi back.
I know.
Exactly.
I
Like
know.
all the wolves are now decapitated, and he's like, "We're just gonna feed them."
Did you just say all the wolves are now
Get
decapitated?
What do you...
I said incapacitated.
Incapacitated?
Incapacitated.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not. It's late, dude. It's late. I freaking watched Chima.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
all decapitated by being
It-
incapacitated.
They might incapacitated. Well, whatever.
So
The real deal is.
the real deal.
This is my. I guess. All right, Meso, you should finish up what you have to say.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, and then the series has come full circle because now Krager and Laval are friends once more. At the very end, their friendship is restored, and that is all. Here.
Well, okay. I'd like to say something.
Okay.
I've said for a long time that the real villains. I often feel like the real villains are Laval and Krager was a real villain, but like Laval is one of the real villains of the series. Does not show up more evident than in this episode.
Really?
He's like the biggest colossal jerk. All right, let me give you the scene at the end. For those of you who watched the end, he and Krager and whatever, they are like the biggest jerks, and it's so like anti Lego or anti anything should be teaching their kids. I really have to like stop and think for a minute. It's like it's almost so cruel. I enjoy watching him do it. That's how bad it is. All right, there's this dude. Okay,
Regal.
there's this bird. Yeah, Regal.
Okay.
Regal, his dad was an eagle. His mom was a raven. So he's like half eagle, half raven.
Thank you.
So he's been an outcast his entire life. That's his show's backstory. He was an outcast. He was treated differently because of the way he looked, and he had a disability. He couldn't fly. At the end, I'm gonna put this perspective and like put it into a more kind of setting that we can relate to. There's this kid who's like in a wheelchair. His legs are broken because I guess he doesn't have legs because half his parents or whatever. So he's an outcast all his life. He's just been treated. He's not a part of any tribe really. No tribe wants him. He's in a wheelchair. This is what Laval and Krager at the end take him to the top of a hill, and they're like, "Hey, you've always wanted to run. We're gonna make you run." And they push him, and he just starts rolling down the hill. And like halfway through, he's like, "Well, I guess I'm running." And then he hits a rock, and he falls out of his wheelchair and skids and slides, on his knees and just slides down the rest of that mountain.
So stop laughing.
That's literally what they did. They're the biggest jerks.
This
Yeah.
isn't
They
funny.
took this dude.
I did enjoy
Just
that.
not funny, but I'm laughing at how bad
This
this
is literally what
is.
they did. They took this kid. He has a disability. All right, he's disabled, he's made fun of because of the way he looks, and they openly mock him by thinking he can fly, and then like they pop the balloon. I guess he didn't really pop the balloon, but the balloons pop, and he crashes into the ground. Like how? If there's one person who should be like, the actual kind of fallen villain or kind of sympathetic villain, it should be this dude who's like he's disabled and the product of racism. But no,
I
they treat and like they're not even vindicated for it. They're just laughing like, ha ha ha. This is what we're friends now. We're friends now. We're going around. We're bullying disabled kids. We're mocking them in front of their entire tribe because they have a disability that's like not even their fault. It's their parents' fault.
Mental disability too.
Everybody already hates this.
Insane.
It's mental disability. This dude's insane. He's he's kind of off his rocker. Why? This. Come on, think about it. That's objectively, that's something Lego, you'd think they would be like, no violence. Also, don't be racist and don't bully disabled kids. That should be on top of their list. No violence.
You would think that would be more important. Yes.
You would think that would be a bit more important.
Well,
that was my only. I didn't enjoy the episode.
What I got from that, they were actually planning on exiling him. They were going to use those balloons to carry him all the way to the Outlands, and he'd become an exile. But the balloons popped beforehand, and they were like, "Oh well."
It just didn't look like it. He's like, "Well, you've always wanted to fly, right?"
Yeah.
And he goes, and they throw him out, and then he popped and he flashed, and they're both looking and they're laughing. Oh, that's so funny.
Man.
I love being a bully. That's
terrible.
That's one of the most horrendous lessons.
Chima has some of the best characters for bullying, don't they?
They've sunk to a new low. This one. There's something which has happened before that made us go, wow, just wow like this. And I forget what it was exactly. But whatever it was, they've topped it. I'm trying to remember. Oh well, I can't. But
so many stupid things have occurred that we have to think back on.
Think of what all Chima has. They've got like everything you just outlined, and then the drug concept. Then, it's an interesting show. Anyway, LJ, what did you think? I think everybody said their piece.
It's okay. I mean, it's not their best. What Kahi just explained made it horrible for an end. but as Alina mentioned earlier, that's come full circle. Cradle in the Valley of Flood. And
Meso mentioned that.
Yeah, me so mentioned that. I just said it was another stupid filler that would have actually been a not filler if they had actually taken the Chima.
Editing, no editing.
Even more because you decided to say that.
Whoops. I'm gonna make you edit more down. No, anyway, whose name did I say?
Just carry on with what you say.
Okay. Bottom line, it was that's finally all squared away with.
Yes.
And glad we got a name for that stupid plant that hopefully will never be used again. I was so afraid when I saw it behind Kruler's back. I was afraid that it was gonna be put to use, but no, it was not.
Hey, LJ.
Yes.
First way to plant.
Okay, so yeah, it was a good episode, I guess, but
LJ. First way to plant.
So I'm interested to see what happens in the next one because they've wrapped up a lot of loose ends.
The season is moving into its final act. I think there's only like 4 episodes left, but I could be wrong.
Yay! Only 4 episodes left to this mind-rending torture?
We'll be back.
Yay! No!
Chima's not going anywhere. Also, this is the first episode in a while where Shadow Wind didn't make a cameo.
No kidding.
Anyway, I guess that is
The
all.
only,
Yep.
that is the only character that looks like he could be cool.
Yep. We'll see
Out
what
of this
happens with
batch
that.
of chumps.
But thank you all for listening to our coverage of the Legends of Chima, episode 14, Fake G, Real Trouble. We will see you all next time. I'm Mesna.
I'm LJ.
I'm Kahi.
And I'm Alina.
And goodbye all. And happy Chima Gra.
No!